Hello, and welcome back to another Overwatch VOD review. My name is Scorch24, and today we're going to be reviewing some Moira gameplay by Antroxia. Antroxia is a really good friend of mine and a streamer on our Discord channel. Check him out in the description below. And over the past couple months, we've been working together on improving his Moira gameplay, as Moira is one of my top played heroes. And honestly, there's been a lot of improvements, so I'm really excited to kind of go over everything that we see in this video. So we're on attack on Hanamura. Coming out of the gate, we just want to kind of build up that ult charge. Moira's damage orb, if it damages to completion, should give you 10% or 11% ult charge right off the bat. So great job putting out that damage orb right at the beginning. Your team should stay safe for the majority of the time. Now, one of the things that I do notice a little bit is that we are still running out of our resource bar, like not frequently, but enough that it does cause some problems, where I think maybe we can do a little bit better. And already like that. So we are less than 45 seconds into the first round and we already have coalescence. So we know we're doing a lot of good things. So for people who don't play Moira or don't really understand her value even after her most recent nerf, let's take a look back at some of this gameplay and see how Antroxia was able to build up her ultimate charge so quickly. So like I said before, coming out of the gate here, we're going to toss a damage orb, and that's going to give him like at least 10%. Plus the additional healing that he's doing on multiple targets is going to build up that ult charge to 30 within the first 15 seconds. Now our resource bar is a little low, so we're going to start focusing on damage and kind of preventing any flankers from really engaging onto our team. So he's doing a really good job of keeping aware of where every enemy and every ally is. So that Reaper's really trying to get value right now, and we're just kind of continuing healing our two tanks. And look at, we're already 90%, and we're going to use our ultimate immediately because getting Moira's ultimate out first is going to cause the enemy team to really panic. And you can get a couple picks here, or at least keep your team alive and prevent any enemies from dealing extra damage. So yeah, that's really where Moira's ultimate value comes from, and her gameplay value. So if your teammates are asking you in plat and gold to swap off Moira because she's not good, you tell them that they're flat wrong. She's still one of the most powerful healers in the game, and they can just go suck rocks. All right, so we already capped first point in a minute and a half. You'll see a little gameplay from myself on my alternate account. I'm Whimsic here. I'm playing the Mei. Um, and the rest of our team is doing a great job by pushing forward, and just preventing any full regroups. At this rank with plat and gold and silver and bronze, you're gonna have a lot of people who think that they can just go in and poke damage. But if you even have just a duo queue, or at least 3 people and maybe one person, or well, just so long as you have some team synergy going on, your team can wreak a lot of havoc by picking off these, Moiras that are being stupid. So, like, that's the Moira you don't want to be. Just don't do what that Moira is doing, thinking that she can come in and do everything. All right, so back to this gameplay here. I would have held off on that coalescence maybe a little bit. Hold on, let's take a look here. So I think you reactionary put out your ultimate to help a teammate who has a critical on them, but I think it's the D.Va, so I don't really think it's worth it. Pause here for a really quick sec. When you decide who you want to heal versus who is just going to end up dying because they're in a bad position, you need to think of their value as a character. So D.Va, if she gets popped out of mech, well, maybe she could survive if you then start focusing your healing on her. If it's a DPS that has their ultimate, then yeah, I would probably say go ahead and put your coalescence on them. But if you guys are up anyway, like you guys just got rid of their Moira, so you're already at a 6v5, you can afford to lose one person. And if it's your off tank who kind of is just helping soak in damage from the other team, um, go ahead and feel free to like kind of focus your healing elsewhere or even put your damage somewhere else. But that's a little higher level and kind of comes with the time as you learn, you know, which characters are kind of sacrificial in a way. Um, yeah, that sounds kind of rude of me, but let's just see what happens here again. So okay, so I don't know if where your thinking was. Not to say it was a bad choice. I'm just wondering, like, were you already in the process of pressing Q when the Zen also pressed Q, or did you press Q to Zen's reaction? So, not saying it was like, oh, I don't know what the hell you're thinking. It's more of like just, if it was a reaction to the Zen, I would say hold off on your coalescence. But if you're already in the process of pressing Q, then no harm done there. Because if you had used your coalescence after the Zen ult in, you would have had a lot more value here, with keeping some of your teammates up. But that was kind of a tough one, with the card being in the middle of everybody. So I don't know how good it would have been, in the end. But that's fine. This is the first uh, team fight that you guys have lost so far. All right. So as we regroup, we're kind of thinking about ultimates. We know we have Mei ult, Lucio ult, and Bongos. We should have a feeling that the Sigma hasn't ulted in a while, and our Lucio should know that, or it should be communicated to our Lucio to use his beat during the Sigma ult. I did call for this movement here on the left side underneath. This is to prevent the Pharah from being able to build up her ultimate with any poke damage. Oh, and I do want to talk about when to use your Fade for Sigma ult. This happens again, so I'll talk about it later. Actually, let's do it now. Okay, so as we move into here, Sigma's going to reactively ult. And Lucio should have used his beat. Does he do it? Okay, he does use his beat, but did you even get it? Did a pull block you? No, you got it. Okay, you just get focused down pretty hard afterwards. So one of the things that you could work on with your interaction with Sigma Ultimate is to hold off and save that cooldown. Because if you didn't fade there, you would have been caught in the ultimate, but you would have dropped down with Lucio's barrier on you, and then you could have faded to a maybe more advantageous position. Um, Even so, the team is able to pull off a team wipe. So pretty good on the team there. Okay, so we're coming back into the third phase of Hanamura. And so far, like, things have gone really well. The enemy team doesn't really know how to deal with the Tracer. I remember that Tracer being just amazing. I'm pretty sure they were also a Smurf, so this team already has 2 Smurfs on it. So sorry, enemy team. Hopefully you can get the SR back. Oh, one of the things that I do want to talk about is a little bit about the orb placement. So, one of the things that you'll start noticing now that I've pointed it out is that when you throw your orb out, especially for the healing, you're not throwing them at like perpendicular walls. Um, if you focused those healing orbs, like you just sent that down mid, and I think it managed to get everybody because everybody was pretty low health there. Um, but if Hold on. Yeah, so we're putting it out. I mean, that doesn't matter. We're just healing up our team. But what you want to focus on in more tight quarters or more unique circumstances where you just want to heal one ally, um, throw your orb at a perpendicular wall so you get the full maximum value out of it. And I'll explain a little bit more when I find a better example. Okay, great. So we're 3 minutes on Hanamura. That's pretty good. Oops. One thing I know you don't do here is throw damage. Oh my god. Great job, Diva. One thing you don't do here is actually throw a damage orb right at their spawn. You should definitely do that. Like I said at the beginning of last of your attack. That's 10% at least. Ult charge right there. Oh, this is gonna be great examples to talk about. Okay, so instead of throwing your orb forward, because you see here, it's just going to continue down past the left side of payload all the way to this like tree in the back, and none of your teammates are here. So you probably only got 50 health, or maybe like 80 or 100 health out of the 300 that is inside this orb. Instead of throwing your orb down to the left here, if your team's going to be holding at this decline, you can throw it at this at the blue building wall and like make it as perpendicular as you can, so that way it just bounces back and forth between this left side of the alley and the right side, hopefully, um, and continue healing your team for the full 300. So you're getting a max value out of your cooldown, and additional healing where maybe you might not have noticed that a person needs healing. I can't tell you how many times I've thrown an orb out, done some things, faded away, and like needed health, and I was just gonna back out, and then suddenly my orb comes around and it's healing me again. So, like those are like the random things that you can't really plan for, but as you grow more comfortable with the hero and like just move up in rank, you'll see how incredibly valuable putting your orb against a perpendicular wall will be to your entire team. I do want to talk about the fades a little bit. You don't need to use the full distance of a fade because it just puts you a little too far back away from your team, that if you get caught out too far, like right here, way too far, and luckily your Orisa does survive here, and your resource was very low. So if that Reaper was just a little bit better with his shots, he probably could have killed the Orisa. And that was just because you were just a little too far back with that fade. Uh, Maybe practice a little bit with fades and kind of doing like a half distance fade, um, to make sure that you just don't get too far from your team. I like the reposition there. That room is not very great for anybody else except for a sniper, especially if they have anything that can just deal like a shit ton of damage in one area. Good. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody else noticed that, but this was a really good use of your ultimate combo. So we throw a damage orb out and then ultimate. And that just deals an extra 200 damage across all targets. Yeah. So I don't think this fight goes your way, but it definitely was a good use of your coalescence, seeing as you're going to get it back pretty quickly. So for those who might not know about the recent nerfs to Moira, her healing was reduced to 60 HP per second across all targets, and her ultimate charge, what was it? Ultimate charge up is like reduced by like I think like 15% or something like that. So her ultimate takes a little bit longer to charge than the broken Moira, but her value really now comes from her healing orbs. So if you're starting to get into Moira or starting to come back to her, please, 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 please use your healing orbs way more than your primary fire. Your primary fire should be used as like peppering in the healing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go full damage like DPS Moira, but like in this example, throwing out that healing orb to heal your team before you even get there, oh, so good. Like that is what a Moira should be doing, because it's keeping your team alive and you're not wasting your resource bar. Like see how Aatroxia is peppering a little bit of healing to his team as his healing orb goes out. So that's where her value comes from, and he already has his ultimate charge again. So again, and look at that. He sees that his team is really low, so he's going to throw out his healing orb along with his coalescence to provide a whole slew of healing. I don't even know the numbers on that, but I can tell you it's a lot. I'm actually really curious about the numbers on that. I'm going to look it up. I'll post it in the right here. Right here. There you go. Numbers. Okay. Now I think we were feeling really cocky here. I remember this. This was really fun because the enemy team's just like not that great. We just decided to push into their spawn, which was fun. I mean, please have fun in comp. It shouldn't be serious all the time. Great job being the focus on this Pharah. So even though we do now have a Widow, I think we just swapped her from the Tracer of before. Great use of Healing Orb here. I lost my train of thought. We're talking about Tracer, and it's fine. Okay, so I just think that was bad luck. You didn't know the Reaper was right there as you coalescence, and he just decided to reactively ult you there. So not much we could have done there. We were being over cocky, so it's fun. No problems. Back to what I was talking about. Widow, right? They have a Pharah now. So a lot of the games I've been playing in high gold and low plat, I hear people constantly complain about Pharahs because a lot of the times your 2 DPS players might not be competent hit scans like myself, and only be able to play projectile heroes. So having a Moira on your team can actually help like deter a bad Pharah. I say a bad Pharah only because like good Pharahs should know how to keep their distance away from like a Moira's damage. But in this case, where a lot of the times you're in a closed environment, especially with the roof here on Hanamura Second, um, Moira can be a good deterrent for Pharahs. So here, if you wanted to throw your orb for healing, I would do it at that the mini room right there next to your second spawn. And then that would bounce all the way forward and then come all the way back over the bridge. If you kind of get catch my drift. All right, so line of sight this. If you ever hear someone call line of sight, that just means get out of the line of sight of that Baptiste ult. Okay, so they transcended in reaction to your coalescence, which is totally fine. Nice block there. And great healing orbs. Like, this is the Moira gameplay I want everyone to be, and what everyone should know. We're reacting to critical symbols, we're throwing out healing orbs where they're needed. We're not only damaging, we're only damaging when we need to refill our resource bar. And then, of course, we just need to find more perpendicular surfaces to throw our healing orb to. So not much is happening here. This was kind of just a stall it out phase. Yeah, that was all really good. Like I have no critiques there. It was just really good reactions and healing. So we're at 84% to our ult charge. Yep, that was good. We're throwing the orbs out as we're coalescing, so that's really good. I think target prioritization could have been a little bit better there, but good reactionary fade there. I always mess mine up for some reason. I need to get better at that. Ah, your fade just came up. That's unfortunate. But great job getting out of it. Game over. Yeah, so a lot of great stuff from this gameplay. I've seen so much improvement over the last couple months with your Moira, and I'm really happy. Like, you're playing at a diamond level, so I suspect you'll get there pretty soon. Just focus on putting your orbs into perpendicular walls to just help with the getting the full value about that. Work on your distance of fades just to make sure that you don't get too far from your team. And just keep on grinding, dude. Like, this is really good shit. Like, I love this coalescence here. This is a really good one. Like, you just go away from the Reaper so you don't get damaged, then you come back and heal the rest of your team, and you're using your healing orb immediately after to start regaining full charge. So, yeah, like, I have nothing to complain about in this video. You're on your way. This is really good. And, yeah, should be soon to get to Diamond. All right, so that's going to take care of it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to get your own gameplay reviewed, please check out the Discord link below, where I have a link to the Discord and the Google Drive where you can submit your VOD for review. My name is Scorch24, and we'll catch you next time.